warm welcome to Joburg Today, where we bring you the 411 on what's happening in and around your beautiful city of gold. I'm your host, Riley Sakwe. The future is a huge part of decision-making for the present, but it's not often carefully considered nor creatively so. The Africa Futures Festival, which ran from the 28th of October to the 1st of November, gave our continent's future the main stage.
Recently, the Goethe-Institut held the 3-day African Futures Festival, which focused on aspects of the future of our continent through a myriad of mediums, one of which was African feature films.
My movie title is Les Saignantes, which is a French word. When you go to a restaurant, you're asking for a meat that is rare or well done. You know, and mine is like the rarest, if you want to define it. It's the story of two girls who happen to deal with a corpse. You know, one is sleeping with a big boss, a big man who dies. And now a friend calls her best friend to say, help me. And then the whole story is about dealing with that body. I think every time we kind of make films in Africa, we always talk about the present or the past, but never the future.
Les Saignantes is considered the very first African science fiction film, and like many sci-fi works of art, it looks at our future in a very different way. Life often imitates art, and science fiction has been the basis for many real-life scientific developments. The African Futures Festival focused on taking African art, finding ideas and visions for the future, and creating a space where dialogue and the exchange of culture contribute to making those visions a reality.
I always ask young people, how do you see your town in 100 years? Most of the time, I think they see New York. So I don't hope that we become New York. I don't want to see the future of Africa replicating the Western world and mainly all the negative aspects of the Western world. It's kind of nice to imagine just another future, maybe for the rest of the world even. You know, I think people will feel a kind of relief to say, maybe we have another world now we can go to. Maybe that doesn't look like ours. It's good to kind of create something that doesn't exist at all. So maybe cinema is the first place. We should maybe imagine it first so that now the specialists can implement it.
I'm Samuel Gebhardt for Joburg Today.
I'm Zondi Lengubeni and you're watching Joburg Today.
We love hearing from you, so do hit that like button on Facebook. That's joburgtoday.tv. Follow us on Twitter at Joburg Today. And if you're one of those people who are constantly on the move, then you can catch us on pockettv.mobi. That's pocket with an I. The 31st of October saw the second annual World Ecomobility Festival come to an end. While some of you may be breathing a sigh of relief, this has actually helped our city to gauge what they need to implement so that we can have an effective and eco-mobile transport system.
30 days ago, the city of Johannesburg launched the month-long Ecomobility World Festival 2015 in the Sandton Central Business District in a bid to start changing the way we move. This saw several streets in the Sandton CBD closed off to private vehicles in favor of public transport use, cycling, and walking. Initially, this created a sense of anxiety amongst Joburgers, but the anxiety almost immediately turned after the launch into buy-in as the number of people who heeded the call to change the way they move in and out of Sandton increased daily.
This event marks the official end of a very successful hosting of the world's second Eco-Mobility World Festival. There was important research that was presented here today to give us a sense of what commuters felt about the festival, how they took to public transport, and also what their concerns were. This is important information for the city to move forward towards achieving their own infrastructure goals when it comes to developing longer-term eco-mobility objectives for the city.
Our survey found that 60% of people were dissatisfied with transport inside Sandton during eco-mobility, but it's a negative response. But on the flip side, 23% of people were pretty satisfied with it. And of course, whenever you do anything that's going to challenge the status quo, in an environment, you're going to get negative responses. So I think the fact that 23% of people were very happy with the changes is actually still quite a positive outcome.
People were overwhelmingly positive with regards to dedicated lanes, and they like the fact that taxis can use dedicated lanes, even though some people expressed the opinion that some taxis did not make use of the lanes.
There were other concerns raised on social media and via mainstream media by commuters, which the mayor says they will address.
Well, among the concerns that people raised was the broadening of the sidewalks, improved law enforcement, and ensuring that JMPT improves law enforcement. We think that that's important. It's also important that we're able to integrate ticketing. Integrated ticketing of our public transport modes is important, and that would be another area that we focus on.
Sheena Mohammed for Joburg Today.
There were over 30 exhibitors. We want to thank.
Hi, I'm Danny Glover, and you're watching Joburg Today.
Now that we've heard from the powers that be, let's take a look at what you had to say out on the Sandton streets.
This weekend marks the end of October, the start of holiday season, and the end of the Ecomobility Festival. We talked to people on the streets of Sandton to see how it went.
Driving-wise, too much traffic. Way too much traffic. Blocked off a few of our routes, so we really had to take the scenic route. But because I also take the train, that part was good, to be able to walk around, not being worried about hit by a car, etc. I didn't know anything. There were no arrows, there were no signs, we didn't know where it was blocked, so it wasn't well communicated.
Personally, I think it was a little bit of a mission. I did find traffic was quite a bit worse. Business-wise, it's killed a lot of business, and we've had a lot of clients that have booked appointments and then cancelled for a whole month.
As they advertise that the roads are blocked, people, they're not coming in high numbers here. Yeah, it looks like affecting us as a cab drivers here. A lot of traffic here, more traffic. They added traffic, that eco-mobility, they added traffic, really.
I think it was a success. There are a few people who are not happy about it, but then, change is good.
Look, I think in the long run, it's important, but I do think that in the short term, it was a bit of an inconvenience. I think it could have been better communicated. So to hop on and off public transportation when there was a bit of a strike with the Gautrain buses as well wasn't really the most convenient for what I do for a living anyways.
I'm Samuel Gebhardt for Joburg Today.
Hi, I'm Lois Mkize, and you're watching Joburg Today.
And that brings us to the close of today's show. But be sure to check out our playlist as well as Business Destination Joburg. That's it from me, Riley. I leave you with More Than Ordinary by Match.
Back in ETV.
It's far way down, way too far to see. The bottom of where we're headed, said it might just be what you need. And no, you're not alone, my dear. In open arms, I'm standing here and waiting for something to come, and I'll wait, and we'd be more than ordinary, yeah. And we'd be more than ordinary, oh yeah, yeah. You're racing now, wondering how you're in the mess you're in, and know that it's where we're headed, said might just be what you need. And though you'll never be alone, oh, as long as I'm here, I'll make it clear, my dear, I will. Yeah. And we'd be more than ordinary, yeah. We'd be more than ordinary, oh yeah, yeah. You're shaking now, wondering how you're in the mess you're in, yeah. And although it's dark outside, don't hide, it's alright to take a chance on me, and yeah, and we'd be more than ordinary, yeah. We'd be more than ordinary, oh yeah, yeah. And we'd be more than ordinary, 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 yeah. We'd be more than ordinary.